Welcome to the floor, a virtual space to create events of any type. Before we get into a quick demo on how to use the floor, I would like to point out that floor has been used for thousands of events of all types, from large conferences and trade shows to festivals, investor calls, meetups, and the smallest of trainings and workshops. So it's an extremely scalable place which provides you a Lego like experience where you can put things together. So, the idea of a floor is you design your own floor depending on what you really need. So, as you can see on the screen, you have an entrance or a gateway page, followed by a stage, which is where your conference takes place. So, all the workshops, training, keynotes, you decide what kind of stage do you want. And there are multiple options with all the features you need to drive engagement. Like any event, there is a lobby. So the magic of the lobby is that you can see everyone who's in the crowd. Trust me, your audience would love to see who's available, see their business cards, exchange notes, connect with other people, and drive a more engaging experience without leaving your event platform. The next thing is a lounge. Now, yes, it's not like a physical lounge, but we've tried to do what we can with the potential that technology offers. So, the lounge is like a coffee table or a coffee shop where you've created tables. You can have 10 tables, 20 tables, endless number of tables. Now, the good thing is these tables can be branded and created like with titles like topics. So yeah, so we'll get into the lounge as we start the demo. The next thing is your booths. Some call it desks, some call it stalls. Basically, these are private rooms which you can give to your sponsors, your exhibitors, and they come with the entire suite of features to make it feel and give the use case of an actual exhibitor booth. The next thing is a VIP lounge or a VIP area. Again, most of these things can be renamed to meet your requirement, but specifically, the VIP area is for your celebrity, your speakers, anyone you would not want to be in the lobby or the common area and give them a premium space. And you can hide them. Each of these functions can be enabled or disabled. Just a couple of more things. You have your reception, which is like the help desk. You can change it to help desk. We don't call it reception anymore. And then, this is where you provide the support, the FAQ, the one-to-one connection with the event planner. And yeah, obviously the floor comes in multiple layouts. You can have a 2D floor layout, which is like your physical floor plans, or you can choose from our list of 3D views. So we are building custom views where it's more of a virtual 3D space to make your look a little more, make your event look a little more fancy. So it's easy to create. So within 5 minutes you can create a floor. Then after that, obviously you spend time adding your content and enriching it with all the other things that you need. But yeah, it's pretty easy to get started and go and launch your event. Extremely, it comes with all the essential engagement features and more. Some of the core ones are obviously there's a lot of networking opportunities. There is a knowledge hub, or you can call it handouts, and some people could like to call it the digital cart, which you can place all the content, as in the PDFs, the sponsor documents, or any other content you would like to share with your audience. We have the Q&As and polls with each sessions. It has obviously the ticketing. We're launching the social wall where you can see the feed. Lot of options for customization, recordings, and obviously even the matchmaking or allowing people to bookmark before they get started. So let's quickly jump in and see what all advanced features are there. I'm going to skip this and actually jump right into a demo. But feel free to come to our page and see all the other functions, and our salespeople will be very happy to sort of jump on a demo call with you and go into more details. So let's quickly get started with a little demo. The first thing I would like to point out is that you can customize your URL, right? Currently, I call it demo.floor.biz. You could have it specifically for your website if you have a URL. If not, then you can make it your name.floor.biz. So it's pretty cool. You can have your custom domain. So unlike a typical event website, we do have a few options for the basic event landing page. You can also have a floor display. So, I'm going to move aside. So, you can provide a landing page which looks something like this. And there is some options with the color variations, but you can see on the left hand side is the navigation of the different aspects or parts of your floor. So I'm going to get inside and then show you each of those functions one by one. So you simply click on the join button. It gets you to a login page which gives you all the options. Floor, you can use a registration with phone, email, social logins, and even make it more customized with invite codes. So we actually have a very extensive login options. I'll make a separate video explaining just the registration process. Here, in the next few minutes, I'll quickly take you through the different aspects of floor, and then we can always come back and look at specific videos for each section. The first thing, on top you will see one of the fourth button, the bento box. What I'm going to go ahead and do is show you the settings. Now within the settings you can see that there are a lot of options, right? By default everything is disabled. So these are the different elements of the floor which I was explaining earlier, that it's like a Lego where you can choose which pieces you want, and then you can further rename them as to what you really want them to be. So as you can see, I've removed all the options. The only thing that is left is a stage. Just imagine a physical stage, where your conferencing happens. So by default, there is always a stage. You can't have a floor without a stage. I'm going to go ahead one by one enable these functions. So let's say I'm going to require a lobby. So you can see the lobby has appeared. I want a lounge. I want a floor map. I do want some handouts or the digital card. My help desk. I want booths for networking. And I also want the VIP lounge. So now you can see I've enabled all the functions and you see them all on the side. The first thing on the left hand bar is a floor plan. Now by default you get a 3D view which shows all the different parts of your floor. Check out the specific video on the floor design to see a little more on how it works. But yeah, so you can have your sponsors on this pillar, but it looks like a virtual 3D space. So it's a good welcoming element for your visitors. So the first thing after the floor plan is the stage. Now stage is, as the name implies, the place where the conferencing happens. So you can have keynotes, workshops, trainings, your panel discussions. I've created a dummy session. Let's quickly join this. Now as you can see, I'm on the stage, I'm on the backstage. So the stage comes with the whole element of backstage and front stage. Your speakers first come to the backstage, and then once you tell them to go live, they click on the live button. Now I'm currently I'm going to join the stage. So now I'm on a live session, right? And we will talk more about the specifics, but this is where your speakers, your admin, the event host would have all the functions of playing the different aspects on the stage. So let's move to the next. I'm going to leave the stage. Lobby. Now, lobby is where you see the entire audience. So you can see all of these users. I see Iris. I'm going to check Iris out. I'm going to message her. So as you can see, there is a chat box which opens up. I can click. I can see her profile, the business card. And now I'm going to send her hello and see if Iris replies. So this is the lobby. Then you have the lounge. So now in the lounge is your coffee shop. Think of this as a by default breakout room in Zoom. So unlike in Zoom where you have to create the breakout rooms. We do have the option for creating a networking breakout session, but the lounge is more like a common public space where you have all these tables. We've set up 20 tables, each with 4 seats. So before we jump onto one of the tables, you can see that I can customize a few things about these tables. I can have a sponsor logo, and I can also give it a title. So I'm going to actually call it Creative Discussion. So while you can give it a name of the sponsor, but you can also give it a title in order to drive a certain types of discussion in your networking tables. So you can see that I could change the details there, right? So now I'm going to jump onto one of the tables. So when you jump onto networking table, it's got 4 seats. We think 4 is a pretty optimum number. I'm waiting on some guests. As they join in, they would show up on the table. Meanwhile, as you can see at the bottom, I can lock the table so no one else can join in. So let's say if 2 people start having a great conversation, they can lock the table so that no one else can join in. They can see who else is in the on the table, and you can actually start messaging or discussing while I'm in the lounge. So I hope that gives you a good idea. Yes, obviously there are some sponsor functions which we will cover in detail in the sponsor section. But in the lounge, this is what the format is. You can have unlimited number of tables. You can brand it. You can give it a name. And that makes for a lot of floor space for your audience to engage during the sessions, between the sessions, the way you drive it as an event. So let's leave the floor. Now I'm going to next go to the VIP lounge. So currently we don't have a VIP speaker, or we don't have any speakers on the stage. But once you add a session, so I'm going to, but again, once you add a session, the speakers will show up here, and then you can give them each a VIP room. So next, let's look at the booths. So booths are like the desks, or you can call it stalls, or you can even use this for your exhibitors. All right. So once you click on it, you can see at the bottom you have the search bar. You can search by name, you can search by product, and it has the basic filtering in order for you to find the right kind of stalls, assuming there are hundreds of them. So there is no limit. You can have 100 exhibitors, or you can have 1,000. So when you click on one of these booths, so it has the basic information. Currently, this booth has not been set up, but you can actually go in, change the information. You can add the details and the contact information. You can have a nice picture. More importantly, when you go to your booth, you can actually change the background. You can make it look more like your office, your showroom, as your exhibitor might have, or they can use one of the template images we already have in place. You will also see that in the booth, they have a handouts, or this is the digital equivalent for your brochures, that where they can have PDFs, but they can also have videos or images or Excels. So depending on what their media kit has, they can use the handouts. Something very interesting is like they have the guest book. So the exhibitors can see the other guests who have come into the booth and left them a message. So really nice way for an exhibitor to keep track of everyone who's visited them. The next thing is in the booth you will see something called the rooms, and we will get into the details of this when we look at the exhibitor booth specific video. But yeah, it's good to know that the booth is more than just one room. There's actually a front desk concept with a boardroom, and you can also have exclusive sales rooms within the booth. The exhibitor can also see the wait list. They can see who all are waiting in queue. They can invite them all in, or they can do this one by one. So that's pretty much about the exhibitor booth. The next is your help desk. Now the help desk shows you the admin who's live. It's more like a chatbot, not a chatbot, but like a live chatbot, where the event admin can help the guests. They can answer questions. You can also upload your FAQ videos. These could be instructions. We often see organizers adding their own explanation for how to navigate the floor and putting it right here. So it's more like a repository of information for your guests. On top, the first thing is the users have very nicely, they can update their profiles. We are giving the option where they can also upload more of a PDF or a contact, like content for their own company. But yeah, it gives a nice, easy way for me to change my profile update. There is something called the troubleshoot. So this by default shows you if your internet is weak. So it's very useful for the users, makes their life a lot easier. They can see which camera or microphone they have on. So any trouble, this is the best place to reboot or get things going. We've added this cool thing called the digital cart. So we're trying to be a little more like an e-commerce site for your event, where we allow this gamification that there could be content in different parts of your event, like in the lounge or in the booths or during on the sessions, and the users can basically go to that specific areas and grab content and put it in their handbag or the digital cart, which they can further, it can be emailed to them as a downloadable file. So that pretty much wraps up everything that you have here. We're going to have detailed videos on each section. Make sure to look at that to get a better sense of what you can do on the floor. This was more of a surface level explanation just to get you started. Thank you.